So let's talk about 321.
Why don't we?
Because I know you've been dying to talk about 321.
We have your images here, and the map looks so much better when not everything's on the plane. I forget what it's called.
Ecliptic.
Like it makes everything look so much better. Anyway, please CIG, please God, please Chris, freaking give us the map. Anyway, so you also have screenshots of the pyro jump point, the Terra jump point in here. Now I see what you mean by too many stations. Yeah, that looks like a mess. As long as they like use them all, I won't be upset. But like, how are they gonna? Yeah, mess. Anyway, 3.21. I assume we're going with the 3.21. What's in it? Talk. Is that the plan here?
Well, so
you have just
little conversation in relation to like the fire putting out that we've been doing in order to manage expectations.
Okay, so just to lead the conversation, it's not pyro.
We're not getting pyro, folks. Here's the bucket of cold water.
Yeah, if we were getting pyro, we'd be getting Terra and Magnus too. Because pyro was not the only jump point they put in. They also put in Magnus and Terra. They put them in, and if you want to go to the monthly report, we can, because that is like the context. They just horsed it kind of, and they just didn't really tell anyone what they were doing until after they had already done it.
Oh, Star Jump Grim just raided with a party of 26. Grim, thanks for the raid. Thanks for coming and joining us. Hope you are doing well. Thank you for coming and saying hey. We're in the last segment of the podcast where we're just talking about the 321 and setting expectations. We're having a good show. We're going over the Roadmap Roundup for October 4th and the progress tracker. And some of the issues with the lack of updates to the progress tracker. We went over the post from Benoit Bessajour about the replication layer separation that's going to be going on in 321.x and what that all means and all the comments and context for that. And now we're talking about 321 and managing expectations for what it means, what having those jump points in there is all about.
So under the economy team, in the latest monthly report,
was that the latest one?
There are some absolutely gorgeous images. We get a road look at the UGF. We get a med kit. Some new UI for salvage. It looks absolutely fantastic. As I'm looking for the stupid category. Nope. Where'd it go? Wait, was that last once? I swear, it's right here. Oh, because I keep seeing engine, not economy. Okay, right above engine, the economy team. First line, the economy team set up. Again, the economy team set up shops at 3 jump point stations. Who done this? The economy team, not the landing zone team, not the server meshing team. The economy team set up shops at 3 jump point stations to provide specifically the Hull C and cargo ships with additional trade routes. That's it. Done. Send it in. They also worked on rebalancing commodity trading and Stanton and Pyro as part of a larger initiative to improve gameplay experience for hullers and traders. So that is, they are preparing for not necessarily simulation. I'm not gonna do that much copium. But they are preparing to balance both a full Pyro and a full Stanton. Is their large kind of objective right now. So they have all the stuff in Pyro on the internal build, and they're gonna balance all that. So when Pyro comes out, we'll have this nice motionful ebb and flow between Pyro and Stanton, and that will just get better and better as we turn on Quantum and get more more planets and more landing zones.
Yep. Yeah. The patch dropped and people, we got the data mines and leaks.
Lost their mind.
And they're like, wait, why are the jump points in? Oh, Pyro soon, 4.0 soon, server meshing soon, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, wait, what? Why are you, how everybody's thinking that? And we got the post-mortem. We got the post from CR. We got the everything else saying the post from Benoit. And everybody's like, yeah, it's coming soon. This is happening soon. And it's like, no, they just got done telling you in 3 different places that we're going to roll these things out incrementally and we're taking our time. And they're like, no, we're going to get Pyro. They'll just change it. And it's like, no, they've been telling us Pyro and server meshing R1 at 4.0 for years. And if they were going to just release Pyro and you log in and you pick out Pyro as your landing zone or whatever, they would have done that ages ago. Not happening. But people think that jump point equals Pyro, and that's not the thing. It's
and chat said that
right here.
Terra and Magnus haven't been linked with 4.0 and hyped for 60 years. That's my point. People are using the jump point stations being added to say, "Oh, Pyro's next." But they added two other jump points in, and they're not saying, "Oh, these systems are next." Obviously, because they haven't been talked about in 6 years. So, if those don't mean those systems, then this doesn't mean that system.
But yeah, so this is the first patch, came out on September 29th. And then, we got data mined that they were in there, and then we were able to find, people manually flew to them, which is just nuts. And then when they officially got added in, with, let's see, it was, the jump point, rest stop stations, and Lagrange points. Yeah. And so it's like I don't know if this isn't the most recent. I think there was 2 patches ago where it was official. But now you can jump to them and check them out, and they've had some fixes made to them so that the way they look good. Oh, Graham, don't worry about it. If you're still there, he's like, I think my raid failed. No, it's there. It worked. Yeah. But yeah, so now we can go to them. This is why the economy team put this in there, not only to have the whole sea, be able to have more places to go do trading stuff in the short term, which is great for them, but also, like Naz is saying, having those jump points with a cargo or the cargo deck at those jump point stations allows the economy team and Quantum to simulate a much wider economy by having things coming in from simulated systems, because they don't have to build the star system for Magnus or Terra in the game for it to be in Quantum. They just have to put the data points in there that say this is produced here, blah, blah, blah. And this would be going, they can generate the simulation in advance of those systems being added to the game and have that simulation run through those jump point stations. So, hey, this stuff is going to be getting shipped to Terra, and so you will put it on your ship and you'll take it from wherever and you'll drop it off at that jump point station to Terra, and vice versa, coming from Terra and into Stanton, and Magnus and such. And then in the not too distant future, we'll have Pyro, and that station will be the last, point before you go into Pyro to have support, for moving cargo, for doing refining. I forget who made that point where we're probably not going to have refinery stations in Pyro. So you're going to have to bring your stuff back and refine it. That'll be the first place that you can refine when you get back into the Stanton system. Yeah.
So they said, why would they add those 3 points to do exactly the same every other station does? Why do we have so many outposts? Why is there 5 mining outposts on Selin? All you need is 1. Why are there moons for every planet? You only just need 1. Why are there so many planets? You only just need 1. Same logic here. They put them in to make game loops, to make a game world. You have the whole sea now. They want to use the whole sea, and so they put in places to use the whole sea.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's
you
the
could
temporary
even
benefit.
you could even use the logic, admittedly stupidly, that like why would you put in multiple rocks for mining? You just need one. Like that's the absurd angle of like how far you can take that kind of logic, but it's there to add variety, to give choice, to build the same game loop larger. So all we have currently is like two commodities per station that we can move.
Mm-hmm.
These jump point stations give us tons, and they all are very saturated.
Yeah.
Like it's not just like you can get almost enough iron, or you have to like half fill with iron and stims or something. Like there's full of commodities.
Yeah, the
Jump
point
points have more
stations
significance. Sure, just not now. They were put in by the economy team for the economy. They will have gameplay later.
Yeah, they'll have more. It allows them to simulate more with quantum eventually.
This is not the end. This is the beginning.
But in the short term, I mean, they could make it so because I'll pull up the image, and I really hope that they'll update this image, when 3.21 launches, but it's the one from the whole C release.
Aren't super reliable for sure. Like there will definitely be some balances, but like we're simulating, and I imagine we'll get a lot more character in what the numbers actually end up. Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm. So they could add. We already have these commodities for the whole sea. They could add in different commodities that come from Magnus, and maybe only certain one of these things go to the Magnus jump point, and certain things come in for the Magnus jump point, and vice versa for Terra, and even vice versa for Pyro. And that it's not additive to this; it's multiplicative. Multiplicative. Yeah. And so the amount of options for whole sea owners goes up dramatically just by adding in those 3 jump points with the cargo decks, and potentially a few different commodities from these ones. Some of these would go there, some of these would go there. Some would come in from here and go to here. Some of them would come in from go to here. So yeah. Socially confused. What are you asking me to link? I'm happy to.
Northern Trooper got you.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
And this is then compounded by the also very closely present freight elevators and being able to store commodities in the hangar.
Bingo.
Because all of these dotted lines on this image, you can move to a main station and then use your whole C to move them to a jump point station.
Yep.
So it creates much more gameplay than we actually even have in 3.21.
This is why we so badly need the progress tracker update with the economy team's schedule.
Yep.
Because this is bigger than people realize. And then the jump point stations being added to it is even more so. Northern Trooper, what would that look like? I don't know. Lots of circles.
Lots of circles.
More circles.
It would look more like a stock trade, like the UEX or trade helper. I forget what it was. I forget what the other one was. And less like circles.
Yeah.
These are people are buying, these people are selling.
Yeah. And who knows how they'll describe the deliverables and what their plans are, but that's the, and Jake totally teased Nazeris and I when he told us about the economy team. And he's like, oh, yeah. What do we say? He's like, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a tease, and you guys are going to theory craft like crazy. And we did. And here we are. And we're still waiting to get whatever deliverables they put on there.
Okay, so how's that proof we're not getting Pyro?
We are not getting Pyro because server meshing isn't ready.
Yeah, we just lined out the steps before Pyro.
Mm-hmm.
and these are the people who just put in this. Like, I don't. If that's not convincing enough, then you won't be convinced. So,
yeah, we already talked about the replication layer and its separation and crash recovery and all those things that are prerequisites to server meshing. And Pyro isn't coming out before server meshing. If it was going to come out before server meshing, they would have already released it. They already talked about how, yes, we could just make it so that way you log into a separate server. One's running Pyro, one's running Stanton. They're not connected. And they talked about, yeah, we could do that. They talked about how they could fake it, and they decided not to. Right. So when's it coming then? We don't know. We guessed that on Captain's Table. We were like,
My guess was Q3 next year. What was yours?
I'm thinking
no way question.
End of Q1.
That's the fun thing about
into Q2.
Community stream. Yeah, that's the fun thing about community streams. We take the win questions and just throw out whatever number comes to our head. Unfortunately, like CIG has obligations after they throw out numbers like that by some people who want them to hang on every letter they say.
Yeah, I think CIG is definitely aiming to have it out before Invictus launch week, because Invictus launch week is a giant event that brings in a ton of people and a ton of money, and it's probably the biggest free fly right now.
I think that's exactly why they would skip it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, they could.
I don't know how many other people. I know Mike's been saying this. Salty Mike has been saying this for like years. Like, don't do big patches before events.
Yeah.
So they'll.
Yeah,
so I assume they'll just like let 322 or 323 with like whatever early year content they have pass by Invictus, and then they'll drop the server meshing crap.
There is no feature for me to think that 4.0 and server meshing is around the corner. The indication of when it will be is the tech. It's all about the tech. And so we'll have a better idea of when server meshing, as what we've talked about with the testing of the replication layer separation, when we see how that goes, when we see how the crash recovery goes, and when we get more updates as to, is it just those two things? Or is there another piece of tech coming before that? Because here we are. Here's static server meshing. This is the hybrid service. The names are swapped right now, but this is what we're waiting for. Yeah, so we don't know.
I wonder if it'll be replication layer after static.
Well, there's replication layer V2. There's.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Yeah, so the replication layer separation is necessary for static, and they talked about crash recovery as well. We already have a form of crash recovery, but the crash recovery that is made possible by separation of the replication layer is also needed for static server meshing. It's
correct.
Replication layer, then the updated crash recovery, and then most likely static server meshing, because they have not said anything else about any other services. These are the things that we know about.
Yes.
And so the when 4.0, when server meshing can't really be more reliably answered until we know how that testing channel progress goes.
And it's the two tech that we're talking about, or three tech, I guess. The replication layer split, the crash recovery, and server meshing are not tied to patches. So we can't say, oh, that's 3 patches, done. They are going to be off to the side in this testing channel. When they are done, they will be added to whatever the current patch cycle is. If that takes 1 patch, then we get it in the next patch. If it takes 2 patches, we'll get it in the 2 patches.
Yep.
It's not, because they're not going to do the thing they did with 318 and say, well, we got to kick it out someday. Might as well be now. And then we get the implosion of the entire year. Yeah. They're going to hold on
jump points, and they've been working on that tech. And I think one of the things that will get demoed at CitizenCon will be like, hey, this is what transitioning a jump point looks like. And this is what the jump point tunnels look like, and etc. This is how it's changed since 4 years ago. Do you think Zarek Master says, do you think the removal of prices and location from game files, do you think that indicative of a big economy size at CitizenCon? I don't know what you're talking about.
Urkel going down and all of the store data being moved to server side.
No,
indicative? Yeah. I wouldn't say indicative, but it gives CIG the authority to be able to change them on the fly.
Yeah.
It is something they need to get done to make everything work by quantum.
Yep.
And the more data mining gets removed from the game, the better the game will be.
Yeah, hopefully, it depends on where I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that's indicative of a big economy surprise. I think we are definitely due for a big economy update because they've been mentioning the systemic services and tools team and quantum and the tools and services within quantum in the monthly reports, but only vaguely. And so, and now all of a sudden we have an economy team and we've only heard a little bit about it. So
I will very much enjoy the day when Pipeline/SC Leaks job is no longer data mine every patch, and it's go find your sources and get actual leaks. And at that point, I'll stop listening to them. But they data mine and they find stuff, and I, as a content creator, it behooves me to know before anyone else.
On the,
means the economy.
The other thing with the things not being able to be data mined, when they add a new system or add something new to the game, if it's able to be data mined, then there is no exploration. There is no discovery. There's no surprises. It's, okay, what's the differences in this patch versus the last patch? Now we know where everything is. That's how they found the jump points, because they were data mined. And so if they are able to...
I don't know if they've looked at it, but I know Microsoft Star Wars Flight Simulator. What the heck is in my brain? Microsoft Simulator did a server-side streaming method that kept the mesh data on the server. So you had to play it online. You could get a box set like a year or two into the game's life, and it was like an 8-disc game. You had to get like a box of discs to play it because it was literally the Earth amount of mesh data. It's basically like trying to download Google Earth, but from Microsoft. And so you could like have stuff updated, and because the server owned the meshes, they would just stream it to you. So I don't know if they're looking at that sort of thing, but that would be a way to keep mesh and location data on the server.
Yep. So I just wanted to share a few images that I think are interesting from a sort of lore and gameplay perspective. So this is generated after we first found the location, the locations where the jump points were first data mined. And you can see that here's the Pyro jump point. It's essentially west of Arc Core. And here's the Magnus jump point. And it's essentially northwest of Crusader, west by northwest. And here's the Terra jump point, which is northeast of Arc Core and southeast of Microtech, essentially. And you can see that they're pretty far out, the Magnus jump point, in terms of where it is relative to Microtech's orbit. And even the Terra jump point is a pretty good ways out from the Microtech orbit. And also from the nearest quantum location. So here's Arc L3, long ways out to Magnus from here. Here's Arc L4, which is a good ways out from the Terra jump point. And you can see that the locations are actually similar but different. And obviously this this is on the arc star map, and so things are not accurate here, but the planets are also supposed to orbit. And so we don't know. It's interesting because in the star map, the jump points don't have orbit, like a little ring showing your orbit. But here, this is the in-game star map.
I imagine that's for readability, though.
Yeah, it could be for readability, which I think helps a lot. Like this is a quality of life thing for me. It helps a lot. But you can see that the Stanton Pyro jump point is off the ecliptic and has a orbit. Here's the Stanton Terra jump point, also off the ecliptic. And here's the Stanton Magnus jump point, way off the ecliptic and way farther out. But yeah, but we know so little about jump points in lore, how they work and all that. We don't know if they orbit or not, or if they are fixed, in relation to the star. I think it'd be great if they orbited, but we'll just have to wait and see.
I think it would have merit either way, because jump points aren't a gravitational anomaly as far as I know. I could be completely wrong.
It's a wormhole,
it's
and so how much do we really know about how wormholes
Their
work?
lack of mass, they're not added mass, as far as I know. I could be completely wrong in the sci-fi here. I will get steamrolled if I am.
Yeah, Sherry Heiberg, please explain.
They are gravity things? Because my understanding was they were like an empty straw. They weren't a thing, and they were fixed. That's why you had the Bermuda Triangle event, where it always was in the same spot stealing cargo haulers.
I don't know.
Not anti-grav, just not applied to gravity, I guess. Like they're immaterial.
And by Sea of Masters, I mean fixed in relation to the star. Because the star is orbiting the center of the galaxy, which is orbiting, all that sort of stuff. But in that they don't rotate around the star, they are in a fixed position relative to the star in the game. We don't know. Because, it just, eventually the planets and moons are supposed to orbit, of course, but if the jump points orbit as well, things get real interesting with the economy and with traversal of systems and getting where you're going real fast. And the CIG the CIG can make it however they want, in their universe, but the another interesting thing is that the level off the ecliptic for the jump points on the star map is actually pretty accurate, and the location of the Stanton Terra jump point and the Stanton Magnus jump point is actually pretty accurate relative to the star map. There is some changes, but otherwise it's fairly close. Oh yeah, God, that looks good.
Neither of the jump point articles on the Galactopedia say anything about gravity or not gravity. Superliminal space. So superliminal space would give reason to say that they're not part of normal space.
Yeah, Lethargian makes a good point. They have to be mobile and pulled by gravity because there is the Min system, which is not really, there's no star. And so there's some that they are somehow attached, I'm assuming, by gravity to a body, because the Min system is anchored by a gas giant. The question is, do they orbit around the thing that they are anchored to by gravity? Don't know. I do not have. Yeah, I am a space game nerd. I am not a astronomer or astrophysicist in any way, shape, or form. That is something else. I grabbed a few of these images of the jump points just because, oh my God, that is gorgeous. And the fact that they pulse with light just like in the Carrick video that is our waiting room video for the podcast, which, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I never noticed it, but the other Lagrange points don't do that. Naz, do you know?
No, they don't. They're static.
Yeah. So, like, to me, that's a huge change.
One of two things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either a thing because it's a jump point cloud, not a normal gas cloud. It is a specific amount. Which I have a problem with them being so flashy. Like, how do you miss that? How did they this weird gas cloud keeps eating ships? No.
I don't know. Paul hypothesized on this and he put it in a Twitter post, and I don't know if it was hypothesized or if he found some lore
magic.
But the way he was like, I'm pretty sure it's because these gas clouds form from us constantly opening and closing these things. Because otherwise, you just scan for a giant, nebulous gas cloud and then go find a jump point within it.
Like, if it has like the gravity like rings and yes, that would support gravity. It does look like it has gravitational magnetic rings. What's the term for it? The magnetic sphere. They do look like they have magnetic spheres.
The lore team has some splaining to do.
Very much so.
A lot.
I hope we get a jump point lore panel.
And that's a Aether Drift to make another good point. The Lagrange points don't have any orbits or anything like that. Because those are fixed in relation to their position between the two anchors, the planet and the star.
They orbit exactly with the planet.
Yeah, they orbit exactly with the planet. They don't orbit around the planet.
Yeah.
But they don't have the lines, which the jump points do.
Old star map, don't read too much into it. That's what I'm at. That's where I am.
Well, no, these ones do. The old star map. So who knows? There's a lot of splaining to do. The last thing I wanted to bring up is, and I forgot to get an image, but I was just at the Magnus jump point the other night, and I noticed that the Magnus jump point has way less infrastructure around this is the lane that you get in to go to the jump point. The Magnus jump point has way less infrastructure than the Terra jump point. And the Terra jump point, like, as cool as the jump point itself, the gas cloud looks, I feel like the infrastructure around it looks cluttered.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it was set up with reason.
Yeah, it doesn't look organized, and it doesn't look like it was planned by people from Terra.
Or Stanton. It looks like whoever and whatever wanted to pull up and build a station, pulled up and built a station wherever there was room. It looks like a trailer park.
Yeah, look at all that. It looks, it's not.
And what do those
having all this
do?
hair?
Nothing.
We don't know about these. We don't know anything about these structures. I'm assuming they have to do with customs. Because it's right here, essentially in front of where the jump point will be. But they're just they feel like they're placed haphazardly.
These are also exactly what we saw in 2019.
Yeah.
Could it be their placeholders? Absolutely. Stations are not done yet. Like, as much of stations that we have, there's a lot of content they still want to build for stations.
Yep.
So these may completely change as we get more modules for interior, exterior stations.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do think that we will be interacting with these, and not just the station. Like, I don't think these are just set dressing. I think that these are going to have function. Just don't know what that function is.
I would imagine, depending on the size of jump point, there will also be a lot of docking area.
Yeah.
Because
I think that this is going to be the customs area. Like, you're going to have to, go here to declare, or whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yep.
But that's everything that I had for 321 what the fuck. I Nazeris, you made that post on Spectrum, and I've been making comments on Twitter and such, and talking in the Discord, and I just thought it'd be good to go over what we know about 321, what's in it, what these jump points most likely signify, and what they don't, in order to sort of help set expectations appropriately, but also to appreciate how cool these are, because I think that we should be excited about these, and I think that they do add to the game in a pretty big way now that we have the whole sea and more economy stuff coming. I don't think that it's a sign of impending pyro, but I think it's something definitely to be excited about, and it's more locations in the game, which is always a good thing. But I just thought it'd be worth a conversation to talk about. But it is 10:20, and Nazeris and I have been podcasting for over 6 hours. So I think it's Naz, unless you have anything else you want to talk about, I think it's about time for us to wrap up the show. And everybody who's hanging out still in chat, I just want to say thank you for joining us and being a part of the stream. Thank you for everyone who came over from Grimm's stream, for everyone who came over from the Captain's Table. We just appreciate all of your support, and appreciate everybody hanging out. If you haven't given me a follow here on Twitch, I would really appreciate it if you give me a follow. It helps bring more people to the shows and the podcasts and the content. Check me out on YouTube, and give a subscribe over there. It helps the algorithm, and all that helps bring monetization to stackup.org. Go check out Nazeris over on the Nova Forge on Twitch and YouTube. And check out the Star Citizen Content Creators Roundtable tomorrow at what time again?
8 p.m. EST.
8 p.m. EST. And if you're still hanging out, let's pick somebody to raid. I need a suggestion. Always got to pay it forward, especially because we got so much support coming into the show tonight. Raid suggestions, anybody?
The only two people I have followed are Carbon Tails and Super Penguin.
Anyone playing Star Citizen that we can send some support to?
So while they're finding
Raid Shadow Legends.
okay, I see here.
But
so yeah, the people we got for the roundtable tomorrow are Hey, it's Nick, Hoban from my Star Citizen org, me, and Tomato.
Oh, cool, awesome. I'll try and tune in while I'm making dinner and doing bath time or something. Let's see. Yeah, thanks so much for the support, Aether Drift. Oop.
Thank you. You should just leave it on your desktop.
No suggestions.
It's such a good.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
It's such a good shot.
Such a good shot. Yeah, such a great concept art.
Carbon Tails at underscore GIP. Yeah.
Carbon Tails. There we go.
Yeah.
We'll raid Carbon Tails. They're playing Star Citizen. Go check them out. Send them some
Doing
love.
Some pew-pews.
Pew-pews. All right. Raid's almost ready.
And please send me put a link to that image in your Discord, please.
I'll PM it to you right now. All right. Take it easy, guys. Have a good night. Love you. Goodbye.
Bye.